Hi, everyone. This is the first time I've been with lots of people from HR. I mean, I like people from HR, but this is my first time. Is everyone here from HR? Everyone, right? All right. Okay. Can anyone tell me who heard about data analytics and advanced analytics? Okay. What? Okay, machine learning, artificial intelligence. It's only you, right? Okay. So who else? Okay, that's nice. All right, let me tell you a nice example. Let's start with a nice example, talking about advanced analytics. There's that woman, all right? Her name is Rachel. And there's that shop across the street. And the shop is for old sports stuff like protein bars, supplements, treadmills, and stuff like that. And she happens to walk through the shop, and then she finds that agreement that she's got to sign a document. And that document states that the shop is going to use all her information, right? Or she's actually going to send someone following her all the time so that the shop can better serve her with new products. So let's say this woman is Rachel, and John is going to follow her everywhere she goes, all right? So she collects some sort of information, and so the shop can serve her in a better way, okay? So then she signs that agreement, and she walks out the shop. John is following her everywhere, and she happens to be a woman with 2 children. She works in a very stressful job. She works out 4 or 5 times a week. She eats all these protein bars and stuff like that, all right? But John noticed something. This was not the first time he follows a lady, all right? Just for the job, anyway. So he's been following ladies for the past 3 years. And he noticed that with the lifestyle that Rachel is following, she'll probably get cancer in the age of 45. What do you think? Should John tell her or not? Should John go and tell her you are going to get cancer with a 90% accuracy at an age of 45? Well, that's a question researchers are working on. That's a question researchers are working on. I cannot answer that question as well. Okay? This is advanced analytics. So John knew that through advanced analytics by just following her. Okay? So let's start, first of all, and ask a question. What is data? It's a Latin word, by the way. So what is data? No clues, huh? So data is everything around us in the social media. It's from numbers, to sentences, to words, to even images, to audio signals, to videos. So this is data. But as long as data is kept in this form, we call it raw data. And it's not in the contextual form. Suppose I give you a number, which it's 020520. Would you understand what that number means? Does it give any sort of sense? It's completely raw data. If I put it in a contextual form, I'll tell you this number is the date of birth. And that's information. Then what's knowledge? Knowledge is when you have lots of information and you start getting from that information some insights or pattern. Maybe pattern the way humans buy products. Maybe the pattern that Rachel was living, and I was actually able to predict that she'll get cancer at the age of 45. So this is pattern, and this is knowledge. And what's wisdom? When using these patterns, I can make a decision. I can decide whether I'm going to tell Rachel or not. Suppose I know on hot days, I sell ice cream more. So probably if I'm an ice cream company, so what would I do on hot days? I'll make sure all my supermarkets, all my shops, all my retail stores have more ice creams because it's going to be a hot day, right? So that's decision, and that's wisdom, okay? This is data. What's big data? Big data, large amount of data, right? Did anyone hear about big data? So it's a large amount of data. when you have a large amount of data, large volume of data that you cannot store or process on a single computer, then I call that big data, as simple as that. But it's not just the large amount of data, it depends on the processing of the data. You need fast processing of data and the variety of data. I'm not going to get into technical and tell there are different types of data types, structured and unstructured. I won't do that, right? But you can have data, I call structured data, data in tables, like the Excel sheets. Unstructured data, data like images or text, right? Did anyone of you hear about chatbots, artificial chatbots? They use machine learning and they use unstructured data because it's all about sentences, words, right? So big data, why now big data? Why big data is a big fuss now and everyone is talking, it's a buzzword and everyone's talking about big data right now. Why is it now? Does anyone know? You're not technical, you're all HR, okay. Let's take it step by step. Okay. In the beginning of analytics, all right, and most of you must have we started with kind of descriptive analytics, like BI tools, business intelligence tools, right? And through descriptive analytics, we can do some sort of diagnostic analytics as well, right? But it's all descriptive. You have that amount of data, you store that amount of data, and you work on it, and you do some nice figures, some nice pie charts, some columns, and stuff, trend curves, and stuff like that, right? This is all descriptive. But when the computer powers actually increased, and we had more computer powers, this descriptive analytics moved into what we call as predictive analytics. I can predict something that's going to happen next week. I can predict from some historical data that I store on my memory or on my storage system that next week, on Monday, is going to be a really hot day. I can predict next week the stock market, my stocks that I bought in the stock market is going to increase. I can predict that, all right? This is predictive analytics. And then the last kind of analytics is called prescriptive analytics. And that's when we talk about wisdom. When I take decisions in my company, I take decisions so that I increase, for example, the revenue of my company. I take decisions that I'm going to put more ice creams on all my retail stores, on all my supermarkets to make sure that everyone gets ice cream. It's going to be a hot day. So I make more revenue. All right? Are you clear with this? Okay. These are examples of analytic types. We've got prescriptive analytics. Airline tickets is prescriptive analytics, where the airline prices change every hour and it's done automatically. It doesn't need any human intervention, okay? And we have predictive analytics, where you can predict. We did a great example at Kmart. Anyone knows Kmart and Walmart in US? All right. So that we did that great experiment, and we were able to predict how people buy products, how they buy, the pattern of buying the products. So for example, if I'm going to buy a Pepsi or whatever you want to buy from, so say I'm going to buy Pepsi and water. So I'm going to predict that person who's going to buy Pepsi and water with 90% confidence that he's going to get beer as well. So this is some sort of pattern, okay? And we did that experiment. From the patterns of pregnant women, we were able to predict if this woman is pregnant by the way she's buying products. And what was that useful for? It's useful because if I know that woman is pregnant, probably I'll do some sort of marketing. I'll send her some text message on things which belong to small little infant babies, newborn babies. And it really worked, okay? So this is the power of prediction. This is the power of prediction. And the whole world is going through this predictive analytics, advanced analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence. This is the revenue that's going to happen by 2022. And it started 2015, which was around 122 billions. And by 2022, it's going to be 260 billions revenue from using advanced analytics in all fields. It's not just the technology department. We can use it, like it can be used in the HR department, commercial department, marketing department as well. Now, I know artificial intelligence is a big thing, and it's a big technical topic, but I just have to speak about it, okay? And that's my interest, so I have to speak about it. Now, what's artificial intelligence? it's not just robots, by the way. It's not just a robot walking around as artificial intelligence. It's not just robots. Okay? So part of it is robots walking around, yeah. But it's not just robots. Anyone knows artificial intelligence? Well, it's simply when a computer can do something a human does by using his brains, his head, but without any human intervention. So you build this complicated algorithms where the computer takes the decision, do the prediction, without any human intervention. And artificial intelligence is the big thing. Under artificial intelligence, we have lots of arms, and this is like machine learning, natural language processing, deep learning. I don't want to get too much technical, but just terms, all right? These terms, like we're going to talk about deep learning. You've heard about computer vision? Self-driven cars, they use the computer vision techniques, and that's using deep learning. Chatbots that you chat on, artificially chat on, and these use natural language processing. Machine learning actually does the prediction part where you can predict something in the future. So you can predict how your company will be doing in the future. You can predict the behavior of your customers. Netflix, you can predict what kind of movies, or Netflix recommends the kind of movies that it recommends movies for you, and that's done through machine learning as well. So this is artificial intelligence. And when we talk a little bit about people analytics, I was talking to Sumaya the other day, and I was asking the question, is it people analytics or HR analytics? What do you think? Is it, we'll call it HR analytics or people analytics? People analytics, why? It's all about people, when HR is not about people? It's a larger scale, exactly. When you talk about HR analytics, you're talking about analytics on the data in the HR department, right? You're not talking about the data across the organization or across the enterprise. When you're talking about people analytics, you are talking about people across the organization. So if you're in the HR department, you probably know the promotions, the evaluations, the incentives, the raise that the employee is getting. But you won't get the business value and how much this person makes as revenue from the organization point of view. So probably you have to collect more data from other departments, right? To know if this guy is a talent or not. If I want to keep this guy or not, right? So it's more about people analytics. And the bigger picture is what we call the enterprise analytics. So the people analytics will probably use as well advanced analytics like machine learning, artificial intelligence. They use that. Not so many softwares around using people analytics, or not many software built on people analytic concept, but there's some few coming up. So the whole process, when you're doing an analytics process, it starts with a question. So you start with a question in an organization, and you ask yourself a question, what you exactly want. Do I want to, for example, do I want to predict the turnover next year? So this is a question. I want to predict the turnovers that are going to happen in my organization next year. Then you start selecting the data. And there you have the data engineers, where you select the appropriate data and attributes and features that you really need. Then you start cleaning the data. Because most of the organizations I've been through, or I've been doing consultancy for, they all tell you that they have a large amount of data and they want to do some sort of prediction models. But the problem is when you go and see their data, it's all corrupted. We call it not clean data. So you have to do that cleaning part, which probably takes a lot of time. Then after that, you start doing your analytics part and you start building your models. Then this is the part where the data scientists come in. If you've probably heard about data scientists. It's the guy who does all this coding, he knows all this algorithm, machine learning algorithm, and he does the coding. And this is the part where actually, it's the buzzword. The data scientist is the buzzword now, and it's one of the most, I can say it's in the coming 20 years, you'll have lots of data scientists. We don't have so many in Egypt, unfortunately. But maybe in the next 20 years, lots of data scientists. Every department would have 1 or 2 data scientists. Doesn't have to be, maybe in the HR department you can have data scientists as well. Doesn't have to be just in the technology department. So data scientists now is commonly, it's a buzzword. It's a very important job right now. People are looking for it everywhere. And then we have the insights. And these are the insights or the patterns that we get. And according to that, we take the decisions for the organization. So I think I wrapped it up like this, and I don't want to get more into technical part. So if anyone's got questions on that.